Okay, students, I'm going to show you how to graph on the graphing calculator, maybe a couple things you could learn. I'm going to call the PG version of our course. PG stands for Please Graph. As I zoom in here, remember this is your equation editor, and so there you go. And then, whoops, sorry about that. Then we are also want to talk about our window. So I'm going to hit the graph key. That should be our 10, 10, 10. No, that's not that window. So I'm going to hit zoom standard. Maybe I ought to redo this video. I don't know. So here's my window. There's my 10, 10, 10 screen. Okay. So let's plot in here my, let's just do a little equation. Y equals, let's just say 0.5x minus 2, okay? Or 1/2 x minus 2. Remember, we're going to hit graph. Okay, so there's my line. Remember, this is a linear function on the coordinate plane. Now, just in case you're interested, you could go over here, and there's different options of how to do the line. I call this one the paintball one, okay? Sometimes that's helpful when you're trying to study how a graph is shown visibly or visually on your calculator screen. But anyway, so there's the line. And what we want to do is we want to show another line parallel to that line that goes to the point 0, 3. So again, here's my little Game Boy keys, okay? 0, 3 is around here, okay? So I want a line that goes to that point. Now you may have noticed that your screen has these little pixels. There's 126 wide and 63 going up and down. It's like your palette, if you would. And there's a lot going on there numerically behind the scenes, but really what's happening is just graphing on the X and Y plane. Same thing you have been talking about. All right, so I got a question. If I was going to hit trace and I'm going to press the key 0, I would have a point. I would have my y-intercept. By the way, could you figure out what the x-intercept would be? If I hit 4, okay, that would be my x-intercept. And please keep in mind, this is the value and this is the y. So this value is called the 0 of the function, because it's a place where the function crosses the x-axis where y is 0. Also notice up here at the top that I have y1. My function is displayed for me so I could see it. All right. So remember, we want to do a line parallel to that. Let's go to our equation editor, and let me skip out of this here. Okay, just change that back. Okay. All right. Now I'm going down here. Let's see, I want parallel. So I'm going to have to put 0.5, right? X plus 5. Let's see if that gives me a parallel line. Again, here's your first one. Seems like it takes such a long time. Here's my second one. Okay, yes, they're parallel. You may be able to see this another way. If I go to my format and I click on, no, that's not right. If I go to my mode and I click on, instead of sequential, I click on simultaneous and then hit graph, you know, it kind of shows the both of them are going in the same direction, or they're parallel, kind of like railroad tracks or lanes that you're driving in with your car. All right, so there you go, parallel lines. Now, my question that I really want to ask is this: how can I draw a line that goes through 0, 5, and it's perpendicular. Perpendicular. So you're thinking, you're saying perpendicular. Well, 0.5 is really 1/2, so the reciprocal would be 2. So you're thinking 2. But wait a minute, they're negative reciprocals, so that would have to be a -2. So -2x plus 5. Well, that gives me a line that is perpendicular. All right, well, let's check that out, okay? Let's go back here and change that back to graphing one at a time. That is y1 and y2. So here's my graph. All right, there's my first guy, okay? Boy, that seems like such a long time it takes. All right, there's my second graph. Now you're looking at that, you're studying that, and you go, that does not look exactly at a right angle. And the answer to that question is you are right. The y-axis here is compressed. Can you see how close those tick marks are? So the way to fix that is to hit zoom square. Zoom square. Now you notice that the tick marks are all evenly spaced. And here's your other line showing on your coordinate plane right there. Notice that this intersection right here looks more square. All right, what else do I want to say? If you look at your format, go to Format, there are some things that you want to maybe know. This is where you could turn your coordinates off. This is turning the grid on. Okay, let me show you that. All right, so here I have what is trying to be a clearer version of your coordinate plane with the grid on. A lot of people don't get a lot out of that, so they don't use that, but I'm just pointing it out to you. All right, so let's go back to that format. All right, if you want to graph with the axes off, or your label on, it just shows you your x and your y's. And then last, if you don't want your equation on the upper left-hand side, you could just hit expression off. So those are some things that I think would help you while we are thinking about graphing on the graphing calculator functions we are studying. They will get more complex, and there is an endless amount of varieties, but this tool really does help you understand more visually how functions work. I hope that helps you. Thanks.